Damn. Okay, I did the whole show already. Here we go. I wondered what happened there.
Euphigenia Doubtfire, dear. I specialize in the education and entertainment of 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 entertainment. Candy and the sun. Could you make me a woman? Showtime. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, dinner dinner din, such a shunt, it tastes good, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Surprise! Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. Little bit of nicotine doesn't mean that they don't love you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you. I'm in charge, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Such a shunt, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Hip hop, bebop. Dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop. Dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Bum 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 bum. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. Little bit of nicotine. Dinner dinner din doesn't mean that they don't love you. When I'm in charge. Don't fuss with me. It tastes good. Dinner, dinner, din. It tastes good. Pum, 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 pum. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Such a shunt, such a shunt. I'm in charge. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run.
Birthday, Dad?
Yeah. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, candy in the sun.
Just a little bit of nicotine.
Dinner, dinner, din.
Just a little bit of nicotine.
Cream in your sugar now.
Little bit of nicotine.
Doesn't mean that they don't love you. Well, that's all for today. Bye bye.
Welcome in, everybody. I apologize for the huge delay. I ran the whole show and I forgot to hit go live. So I did a show for myself. It was pretty brilliant, actually. You missed a good time. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in and join the chat. Jen will be here soon. She's getting some stuff together for us. As usual, she's gonna come with it hard and strong, and you're going to be amazed. So tonight's show is going to spotlight a huge hero of mine, Tom Haverford. Tom Haverford is from South Carolina. He works for the Parks and Recreation Department in Pawnee, Illinois, and he takes his appearance very seriously. What I like about him, and he's extremely sarcastic, mischievous, and has a cocky attitude. And he is really good at entrepreneurship. He has companies like Entertainment 720, Rennestwag, and Tom's Bistro. So we're going to listen to a little blurb of Tom. First, we're going to really have a good time. And this is...
Now the father of one of those victims is shedding some light on what happened that night. Steve Monsalvo says that there is evidence that his daughter Kelley was trying to escape, but was trapped both by the attacker and another one of the victims.
Because the reality is if they cannot prove a motive, it's going to be very difficult to build the case and put Brian Kohberger kind of the why he was at the scene and why he would do something like this.
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
Hello, Reporter Room investigators. We have a lot of stuff to get into on the Brian Kohberger case. Brian Kohberger has been charged with doing away with Maddie, Kelley, Ethan, and Xana.
I slipped that one in by...
detained in the Lauda County Jail.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Court hearing. So, we have a lot of stuff to get into.
So if anybody remembers her, I'm sure you do. And again, I apologize for being late. I was broadcasting, but I wasn't live. And that another technical difficulty. Hopefully that's the only one we have tonight. I don't know. Seems to be the theme of the show. So I wanted to play her because if you could ask for a better example of what not to do, of the beginning and all the mystery and all the stuff that got put out there. This is literally a 5-star A-list packet of her. Let's go.
A lot of posts on social media. People are beginning to poke holes in Brian's alibi. Today, we're going to discuss Brian Kohberger's bizarre statement before being arrested. Just moments before being arrested, he made this bizarre statement to his father, BK's sister's response to everything that's been happening, his connections to Maddie, Xana, and Kelley, and 3 of the weirdest claims being made about BK. So, it's very likely the prosecutors are going to be relying on DNA evidence. They're going to be relying on CCTV footage. We've only seen one of those, but we know they picked up multiple other cameras, and they're going to be relying on that cell phone tower pings. Now, BK is innocent until proven guilty, but since he is the one arrested, charged, and awaiting trial, I'm going to be discussing this case in terms of Brian Kohberger. Now, Kaylee's Gonzalez's parents appeared on 48 Hours to discuss this case, and they proved that there is a connection between BK and the victims. They specifically talked about Maddie and Kelley. Now, Christy and Steve showed screenshots of what they stated was BK's Instagram follower list, and this list included both Maddie and Kelley. But wait, it gets weirder because the connections don't end there. Christy shared that if you would go to Maddie's Instagram account and look at her pictures, he, quote, liked them. She said, quote, he had liked them. In fact, they stated that Brian's name was under a lot of Maddie's pictures, liked her pictures, liked that picture, and that picture, and that picture, and that picture. So she's showing this to 48 Hours. So BK was engaging with Maddie's Instagram account. Now, BK also reportedly was following not just Kelley and Maddie, but also Xana. But get this, an investigator with The Independent found that the connection between BK, Maddie, and Kelley may go even further than what Steve and Christy know about. And I'm going to be discussing BK's bizarre statement to his father just moments before he was arrested, and his sister's comments along with 3 weird things about BK in just a moment, so please stay with me. But get this, in addition to following Maddie, Kelley, he was also following Xana. BK also allegedly was trying to contact these young women, and the unnamed investigator shared that BK slid into one of the girls' DMs multiple times. She wasn't responding to him, and this has been reported by multiple outlets in the past, including this channel, Reporter Room. The prosecution had to get a court order to collect this cheek swab DNA, and that is what they used to match him. That is what matched Brian. Not millions, not billions, but octillion. Octillion, that's 8. Not 1 like million, not 2 like billion, 8. Making it statistically impossible for that DNA to have belonged to anyone else but Brian. So basically, it was BK sliding into the girl's DMs, just saying, quote, hey, how are you? But he did it over and over and over again. So did BK believe he had a relationship with one of the victims? Hear me out. Stalkers, like on the Netflix series You, often believe that they're getting secret messages from their targets. So the investigator said that none of the girls were responding to any of these DM messages and that the account suspected to be BK's has since been deleted. And I guarantee you that law enforcement probably deleted this account after documenting it. And I would expect this information to be presented to the jury at the trial. Now, I'm going to be talking about BK's sisters and that bizarre statement he made to his father, Michael, in just a moment. So please stay with me. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. It really helps me out a lot and it's free. But People magazine also reported that the police thought that an account that might have been BK was reaching out in an effort to interact with one of the young women, and I believe he was trying to interact with Maddie. And I'm going to discuss BK's sister's comments on all of this in just a moment, but let's dive into the top 3 weirdest things that we have learned about BK, and then we're going to talk about his sisters and the bizarre statement he made to his father right before he was arrested. 1. As NBC News reported, BK was accused of making inappropriate comments to multiple female staff and patrons at the Seven Sirens Brewing Company in Pennsylvania, where he grew up. This was just a few months before he moved to Pullman, Washington. It was reportedly so bad that they kept notes on BK. 2. A female Washington State University student that BK tended and befriended alleges that he broke into her home just months before the November 13th crimes at the 1122 King Road house. She said someone had, quote, touched her stuff and that nothing was stolen. Remember, Xana's dad had changed the locks on Xana's door. Is this related? Was he also in the 1122 King Road house, maybe going through people's stuff? So the whole thing seemed like an intentional act to frighten her off. And this is according to FBI profiler Greg Cooper. Now, he says that he believes that BK most likely did all of this. He orchestrated this entire break-in situation so that she would come to him for help because he offered, get this, BK offered to establish a home surveillance system for her, and it's being reported that he may have had access to the video cameras. So was he spying on her? So according to the FBI profiler Greg Cooper, he says that this would have given him another level of power and domination and control over another person. BK was reportedly arrested in 2014 for stealing his own sister's iPhone. Can you imagine living with someone who would actually steal from you? That same year, BK's father, Michael, reported his theft to the police, but the infraction seems to have been removed from BK's criminal record. However, I believe that law enforcement still would have been able to pull this information up, and that this may be why BK did not get that law enforcement job he had applied for. Let's discuss BK's sisters. He has 2 of them, and one of them has spoken out. One of Brian's sisters, who was not identified by the source, was also interviewed by law enforcement right after he was arrested, and you're not going to believe what he said to his dad just before he was arrested, but we'll get to that in a second. In the interview with BK's sister, she was reportedly in, quote, utter disgust against her brother. So apparently none of BK's family members, not one of them, have ever gone to visit him in jail. I think this is very telling. And at least one of his sisters has cut all ties with him. This is according to a family friend. The family friend stated, quote, when the authorities broke the horrifying news about Brian's crimes to his sister, her reaction wasn't shock, but more of a deep-seated disgust. The family has the firm belief that a destructive influence met during BK's, and I'm watching my words, medication-related struggles may have instigated this tragedy. And this sounds to me like a family just trying to make sense of a really awful situation for them. Now, according to this family friend, Michael told him that his son, Brian, had said something that caught his attention moments before police took him away and arrested him. So he said, quote, Mike mentioned days after the arrest that Brian uttered something to the effect of, quote, it's their fault. I'm in this mess, minutes before police arrested him. So the
Yeah. So does anybody else remember hearing that that last part there before? And if you're just getting here coming back, I'm sorry, I scheduled it and I was doing the show and I apologize. Anyway, so I don't remember hearing that thing that he told his dad. And I don't think you could have a better list of bullshit, as David said, than that right there. And it's just so, I don't know, it feels surreal to look back at how we used to think about or what we knew or, yeah, anyway, you get the idea. So, tonight's featured artist is Aziz Ansari, and he plays Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec, and he is one of my heroes. He can make any situation funny. He just brings out the good in people, and that's what I love about Aziz, I'm sorry. So this is his new live, I believe, from 2012. But it's so good that I can't not play.
Complete. Ready to continue?
Okay, like I said, Jen will be up here in a little bit. She's got some great stuff she's putting together for us as usual, and be ready to get your mind blown. I have questions.
Oh, you can get that work. You see the color coming back? Get the out of here. So,
okay, my questions aren't how he got the TV working. My question is, what's going on here? Why is he chained to the dresser? Can anybody tell me that? Oh, no.
Experience, new technology merely amplifies old problems. It is true that both Michael Celestine and Clint Carter had their cases dismissed, but the amount of damage done to someone who spends more than a year in jail without a conviction is almost indescribable. The worst part of this is that this sort of thing happens all the time in New Orleans. Matt Engelberg, New Orleans public defender, said this, and I quote, "I see these types of police reports weekly. Someone literally standing outside their house or on a street corner next to their car, and they're stopped for reasons unknown and subsequently end up with some bogus charges in jail. Then they can't pay bail or for whatever reason get caught up in the system." The point, these minority report pre-crime units, both in New Orleans and across the country, should be once and for all ruled upon by the United States Supreme Court as an absolute invasion of our privacy, particularly under the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, they should really leave minorities alone. I'm just kidding. These minority reports, what they're talking about is like future crime. And that's really going on with the real-time crime centers. And you see here a guy had a bulge in his pocket and they arrested him. And he ended up being innocent and he spent a year in jail. Oh man, such a good dog. Aw.
Tell her that the thing she is scared of is going to change her whole life, and that the reason she's scared is because she thinks she's going to fail. And she's not going to. I think I would tell her that the thing she is scared of is going to change her whole life. And that the reason she's scared is because she thinks she's gonna fail.
We were talking about Bethany last night, and she's such a strong person. I mean, she's in her 30s now, I guess, maybe. And I just thought that was beautiful there. No, I don't have a dog right now. I had a dog. And that's him right there behind me, laying in the bed. I've shown that picture before. Maybe I'll pull it down in a minute. But that's my avatar, Aki. I don't have one right now. I'd love to have a dog soon. Beautiful dogs. Let's see here. So, they have a comedy festival in Moscow, and some, I guess, very. It's a woke kind of deal they've got going on there. They have these regular acts, and they have a variety of stuff, as you could expect from Moscow. But I was looking at some of the comedians that were performing, and I had no idea Swamp Rose was doing stand-up. We'll see how that one does.
Nair gave $15 to a homeless man, hoping he would buy something to eat. Meanwhile, a nearby woman was also seeking help. Her wallet had been stolen, and she asked for some change to take the bus home, but the bystander ignored her. Paul approached and handed the woman $5. The millionaire, surprised by this, quietly followed Paul. Soon, Paul entered a supermarket where a mother was being mocked by the cashier for being $5 short on her bill. Paul handed the mother another $5. With his remaining $5, Paul bought a burger, and the millionaire witnessed it all from the corner. Back at the shelter, Paul was about to eat the burger when he saw a hungry companion and gave the burger to him instead. Intrigued by what he had seen, the millionaire approached Paul and asked why he was doing all of this. Paul replied, "Because I believe kindness always comes back around." The millionaire went home and told his mother about the homeless man. His mother said she wanted to meet the homeless man. The next day, when she met Paul, she realized that 20 years ago, Paul had once saved her. This millionaire gave $15 to a homeless man, hoping he would buy something to eat. Meanwhile, a nearby...
I guess that's a movie or whatever. I just thought it was a good story. So this one is a lawyer's guy, the guy we know there. And he did, if you remember way back, this. So yeah, Chris McDonough. I think Twiz was driving. I forgot. That's a good point, Jack. Oh man, you never quit, bro. That's some funny stuff. This is back to our Spotlight Comedian, and these are my favorite. Some of my favorite best ofs.
Good news. I think I found a job. There was an opening for a janitor at the TV station. Get this, they're gonna pay me the minimum wage.
Put your mop down, bud. I got you the rights to Johnny Karate.
No way. How?
Just a great agent, I guess.
Please, man, please. Andy's my friend, and I want to do a good job. And there's this girl I really like, and she lives in Chicago, and she's still dating someone. And
Oh,
it's just
God.
do you want to eat at my restaurant for free? Every week, you can come once a week. It's free.
Fine. Just
Colt beanie, my Colt scarf, I got the Colt's grill going, and the crowning glory, Colt slippies.
How you gonna run in those?
Run? Tommy doesn't run. That's your guys' job. Now, let's go fetch this football throw, fellas. I love sports.
Check it out, Tom. The Eagleton Reservoir. Isn't it stunning?
It's just a big, dumb pond. This morning, I saw a YouTube clip of a little puppy riding a motorcycle. So my bar for stunning's pretty high.
What if I told you that this water has fluoride in it?
Then I would tell you the puppy had a little sidecar with a piggy in it named Hampton.
Well, first of all, send me a link to that video.
It opens in 6 weeks, and I'm making sure I get every detail right. This is the hardest I've worked on anything since... Wow, I've never worked hard on anything. What a cool life. Wake up, man.
Oh, morning, Tom.
Twilight is dope.
I told you.
I couldn't put it down. It was like she was peering into my soul.
Sing it, friend. Here. Book 2. Twilight, New Moon. Get cracking.
There's a second book.
And a third. And a fourth.
No way.
So there's if you haven't watched Parks and Rec, you want to check that show out. It's got tons of comedy. All right, everybody's up in here now, and we have this to look at what we put up for us, and I'm going to get to it. So we're going to put that in the stack, and then that's a good one. Brian Kohberger, handcuffed in first court appearance since case moved as judge cast doubts on trial. And I didn't realize that he was handcuffed. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. It just seems that every time we go through one of these things, something glaring pops up. Brian Kohberger was handcuffed and dressed in a suit as he made his last court appearance since the infamous Idaho 4. The 29-year-old suspect in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students appeared in Ada County Court on Thursday, where the newly assigned judge cast fresh doubts on the current timeline for the trial, or ritual. The trial was originally set to take place in Moscow in summer 2025, but was moved 300 miles away because of the mob mentality. During the hearing, Ada County... Wow, they put it... Okay. Where the students were unalived would impede legal proceedings due to a mob mentality among the prospective juror pool. I just have to ask, is that what Judge said? Is that a... Or they're just quoting Ann Taylor there, I guess. During the hearing, Ada County Judge Stephen Hippler raised concerns about the timeline of the trial which is expected to last between 3 and 4 months, saying it would be challenging for jurors because it would span the entire summer vacation. He suggested either starting the trial in May or September, and I'm just going to keep reading because the judge called for both sides to present their arguments in a closed hearing, after which he will make a ruling. In the hearing, Kohberger was granted his request to wear a suit and tie instead of a prison jumpsuit, after his attorney's right to a fair trial would be protected if he were allowed to wear street clothes. Authorizing Mr. Kohberger to wear street clothing to all public hearings is one way to reduce potential for prejudice. Taylor cited a Supreme Court decision, and the family of one of the victims, Kelley Gonçalves, have hit out at the request, calling for him to be required to wear prison garb. While Hitler allowed Kohberger to wear his own clothes on Thursday's hearing, he said he will decide his attire for future hearings after consulting with security officials. Though he was in a suit this time, the hearing did not mark the first time the former criminology student wore handcuffs in court. The 29-year-old is accused of and moved and to okay. So I didn't realize he was handcuffed. So yeah, she's back. The lovely. She's now apparently. I don't think she is on OnlyFans, and that with that whole Telegram message that she sent me back. I think that might have been legit her. She wanted to get to know the Kane. And she's making a movie. She's gonna make a movie.
Hello?
Where are you?
I'm on the beach. Why?
Well, you got a film to film?
Oh yeah, I do, don't I? Okay. Looks like the sun tanning session is being cut short.
A sun tanning session, seriously.
A gal's got a tan, you know? Gotta get my vitamin D in. Let's go.
So this is another report. This was about new expectations set in case against the man charged in Idaho 4.
This is the news at 4.
Welcome to the news at 4. I'm Brenda Rodriguez.
And I'm Joe Paris. We will start with the big news in our area happening now. Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in the fall of 2022, appeared in the Ada County courtroom today for the first time.
The hearing today was a status conference to determine the next steps in this case. Abby Wilt was at the hearing and is live at the Ada County Courthouse. Abby, what came out of this hearing?
Joe and Brenda, the big thing that came out of this hearing is that June trial date does seem to be off the table. Now, the judge proposed moving the trial to either May or September, but we do not know a final decision on that yet. The defense went into an ex parte or a private hearing with the judge after the status conference to nail down a date. We're still waiting on an official decision, which will likely come down in a written order. Today's hearing was around the timeline for future hearings and Kohberger's trial now that the case has been moved to Ada County. The defense wants more time to go through 398 gigabytes of discovery from the prosecution and work with experts before the trial. Ada County District Judge Stephen Hippler told attorneys the trial, as it's currently set, starting in June, is going to be difficult, which is why he proposed May or September.
Having it set to run the entire course of the summer, I think we will find it to be difficult on jurors in particular. Jurors who may have children who are out of school in terms of being able to spend time, go on vacations with them, etc. That's one concern. The second concern is with school that typically starts in mid to late August, and jurors or parents who may have kids going off to school, the timing of that through August. That's my primary concern about that time frame. I had two proposals. One was to start the trial in the evidence portion of the trial the first week of May, and the other would be to start the evidence in early September. And I'd like your thoughts on this.
And the prosecution told Hippler they prefer trial to start in May. Hippler says he wants the defense and prosecution to appear in person in court if they are the main attorney arguing. But if they aren't, then they can appear remotely. The attorneys told Judge Hippler they expect the evidence portion of trial to last 10 weeks and a penalty phase to last another 3 weeks. And Kohberger walked into court today wearing handcuffs, and he was wearing a suit after the judge granted a motion for him to wear street clothes during today's hearing. That was just for today's hearing. We do not yet know if he'll be able to wear street clothes for another hearing. That will be decided in another hearing.
Well, Abby, I'm curious. I know there's national attention on this case, and we've heard some concerns about how many people would be coming to the courthouse. Behind you, though, it doesn't look too busy. Has it been busy while you've been there today?
Joe, I would say there was roughly 40 to 50 people in the courtroom today. It wasn't extremely busy, but there definitely was some attention, and people were wanting to come see what was going on and see Kohberger here for the first time in Ada County. All right, that's our Abby Wilt reporting live from the Ada County Courthouse.
So if you were watching with me on the hearing, there was a point in the hearing that Santa Claus turned like almost beet purple. I forgot what was said, so I want to look back on that one of these days here. And the best part of this newscast was that reporter is super hot. So let's check with the next one. Shaggy, the problem we found with Hippler, I don't know if you've seen any of the recent lives we've done, is some kind of connection to a company that was granted or facilitated the sales of the houses around 1122. And there's all kinds of more weird anomalies, which I'm sure Jen we'll get into here. And so we'll see what she has to say about that. But if you're not caught up on that, Jen's got it together for you in a nice tight little bow. I just thought that was funny. So let's see what the next one. Woke Up 1984 is here. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate all your help.
Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
Talk like a gentleman. But you have to respect my rights and my property. Please close the listen. You're on camera. I'm asking you, please close the door. John, if you don't close it, then I have to go in the house.
Just talk to me like a man. Come on.
Close that door, please.
Come on. Just talk to me.
Palmer.
Can you come outside and at least talk to me?
I gotta go in the house. Father, whoa! Don't want to talk. Talk like a gentleman.
Talk like a gentleman. Because they're such gentlemen, aren't they? Ah. It's
and to make some noise instead. This men surely have experience in it. This guy and his team were taking pictures of a bear when suddenly the bear started moving towards them. The team was about to run, but he told them not to run and to make some noise instead.
Yeah. So we have another walk away, and it's not any of the usual suspects. It is Wayland D. Savage in Latah County, and check out this winner. Prison inmate who walked off a job site at the University of Idaho campus in August has pleaded guilty to escape. Back on August 13th, the university informed the public that inmate Wayland Savage, who was serving a sentence for burglary and grand theft, went missing while on assignment at a dorm building. Later that night, the Pullman Police Department took him back into custody. Dateline, Moscow, Idaho. All right, let's look at that one, guys. August 13th. Do I have to say anything? Heather, where are you? Our primary interest is the public safety. Now here they have convicts working on a university campus that apparently have a little too much trust and leeway, which if you're a great inmate, if you're a good inmate, that's great, that's fine. This guy was able to escape. Now, this is after all the promises of safety and how the police are looking. They're literally taking the peoples out of prison and putting them on the campus and more or less letting them run free to it unsupervised. It must be if he just walked off the job site. Now, this isn't like this is November 7th, 2021, guys. This is August 2024. He walked off. There was nobody chasing him, dude. He walked off. If they have prison inmates on the campus, what's to say that one of them didn't walk off and do this? And they're hiding it. They only reported this because the guy got caught. Otherwise, no report taken. Am I a fool? So I thought that was very, very interesting and telling. And it's disgusting that now 2 years after that they're doing this, and they put the, and you know, he probably was working on the Memorial Garden.
Well, a prison inmate who walked off the job while working at the University of Idaho campus, pleading guilty to the escape. Now, back on August 13th, the university informing the public that inmate Wayland Savage, serving a sentence for burglary and grand theft, had gone missing while on assignment at the dorm building. Later that night, Pullman police took him back into custody after he was found. According to court records, he pled guilty to felony escape this week in Latah County District Court, receiving an additional 1 to 2 years to his sentence.
EC Enterprises is back with their Supercross event. This will be year 8.
there's as far as I can drag that one out. But seriously, you got to think about it. If you combine that with Bubbly Water's video today.
Okay, man. Stand there, yeah. Okay, 183.2. Stay there.
Speaking of height, guys.
Zag. This is vertical. What did I say, 180? Only one person. 3? 0.1 centimeters. And now we're going to measure him horizontally. Zag, I don't want you to break your bones, so we have a little step for you. Okay. You ready? Yes. Okay. Okay. 185.7. Stay where you are. 185.7. I'm sure I want to first make the subtraction, right? 185.7 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Oh, that is 5. That is 2.5 plus or minus 0.2 centimeters. You're about 1 inch taller when you sleep than when you stand up. My grandmother was right. She's always right.
You missing a leg? Man, how expensive were these tickets? What's your name, brother?
Joe.
Joe? Yep. Pleasure to meet you, Joe. What happened?
Racing motorcycles, broke my back.
Racing motorcycles, broke your back.
Yep.
What about the leg, though? I'm less concerned about the wheelchair.
Sorry.
I don't know if you noticed.
Hey, you need to go to the hospital.
You say that again, sorry?
They said I had a wound, a pressure sore on my ankle. They said go to the hospital, and the doctor came in and said, you got 2 options. You can keep that leg or live. What do you want to do?
That's the only explanation he gave you?
2 options.
Just 2 options. He didn't say like what the problem was or anything? No. It sounds like he had a quota. Like, figure out what the fucking problem is. It gout? You know what I mean? Oh, that's brutal, man. What's that?
Living the dream.
Living the dream?
Yep.
Half of it. You missing a leg?
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, sorry. I was just saying that you have the takeaway from Walk Away, Waylon D. Savage, free to walk away as a prison worker on campus. This is not an off-campus, after-hours incident. This is the County of Utah using free labor at the risk of the college students that they are supposed to be protecting. What's to say that this didn't happen in 2022? It's disgusting, it's despicable, and it makes me sick. And if you combine that with the on-campus newspaper article that Bubbly had in her video that I'll play later, that she did today, where the on-campus newspaper or magazine was encouraging females to sell their panties. And they say that they can get as much as $300. And I left her a comment and I said there was a follow-up to this article that where Comer would provide a list of faculty members that were willing to support the undergarment sales. And they go on to say this and donating plasma and selling your clothes to a used clothing store are excellent ways to supplement your income. And they say this is the easiest way to make good money during normal hours. Do you follow me? During normal hours. So literally like kind of alluding to, or you could be a stripper. And I said, well, that's good because they're giving the girls a backup plan for their futures as strippers, just in case the whole school thing doesn't work out. And if you think about it, it just boils down to the school wants to get their money and get paid no matter what it takes for the students to be able to pay their tuition and make sure that the college gets paid. And now they've added the Phoenix University, and it's, you get it. So that video that she had today was very interesting. You know, it's if it had been something that, say, the university was opposed to, or was embarrassed about, or didn't want the public to know, it would have been scrubbed from the internets years and years ago. This was a 1 or 2 year old article. Actually, it's from 2018. And they went short of saying, you know, start an escort service or use OnlyFans. I mean, it's literally promoting, and they didn't even have an age thing. You know, you have underage students, 18-year-old girls, as freshmen at colleges, and here you have an on-campus magazine encouraging them to sell their panties. And I personally cannot think of anything more disgusting, or, well, I can think of something grosser. I know P-Fox could too. Just this, again, showing their greed and not being able to figure it back out. And they never took the article off the internet. It's still there. Where's the house? Where are 50 million Facebooks and pictures and articles and changed pictures? But no, this stays on because we want to encourage them to be able to get extra money by turning tricks so they can pay their tuition. All right. So
this air traffic controller left a wholesome message for a pilot for his retirement flight, as well as an awesome surprise at the end.
And be advised, we have a possible pilot appreciation for you. Advise when you're ready to copy.
Operations American 346, go ahead with your words.
It's Captain Dave Miller. On behalf of American Airlines Boston Operations, congratulations for your 33 years of service for the airlines. You have accumulated extensive experiences flying in various aircraft models, flying the Airbus 300, the Super 80, the Boeing 727, 757, and concluding your career in the Boeing 737. We also want to thank you for your service for flying with the United States Air Force, specializing in your piloting the F-16 Fighting Falcon. May your retirement be filled with blue skies, peace, and joy as you move on to your next adventure. Gate B12 is your gate, and you're cleared to park at the gate for the last time. American 346.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Hey Dad, it's Jason. Congratulations on 32 years. You can't wait to see you.
This air traffic controller left a wholesome message.
That was pretty cool.
Mr. Kroc.
Can I help you?
No, but perhaps I can help you.
Harry Sonneborn, nice to meet you.
No, thanks. I'm not here to sell you ice cream. I caught a bit of your conversation back there. Sounds like you're having financial troubles. If you're not making money hand over fist, something's terribly wrong.
June, grab the ledger, would you?
Tell me about the land.
The land. Pretty simple, really. Franchisee finds a piece of land he likes, gets a lease, usually 20 years, takes out a construction loan, throws up a building, and off he goes. Is there a problem?
A big one. You don't seem to realize what business you're in. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business. You don't build an empire off a 1.4% cut of a 15-cent hamburger. You build it by owning the land upon which that burger is cooked. What you ought to be doing is buying up plots of land, then turning around and leasing said plots to franchisees, who as a condition of their deal should be permitted to lease from you and you alone. Land. That's where the money is. And more than that, control over the franchisee. So, what do you say, Ray? Mr. Kroc.
Can I help you?
No, but...
Okay, so this was one of my ex-girlfriend's grandfathers, Ray Kroc, and she loved him to death. He was like my grandfather, and that's one of the things we had in common, that we both had really amazing grandfathers, like Ray. And she used to say that he was a railroadman. So everything was big and bold, and he shout, but he was funny and he was great with the kids. Just an all around really great dad. Now, she was the daughter of one of his second wives. So he was already married when he met the mother of her. But the reason I played it is that they're talking about what business are you in. There's not a lot of money in food in restaurants. We were talking about that. It's the drinks, that type of thing, that brings the good cash in. And then you have McDonald's. He says, you're in the real estate business. You're not going to make money off a quarter share of 15 cents. You want to lease the land to people. So the same goes for a university. There's not a big margin of profit in tuition when you have to pay teachers and administrators and private rideshare drivers and all these things, even though the land was donated. Now what you're doing is on the side worrying about the real estate in your general area that's not part of the university, and you're able to shuffle it around within an organization that handles and facilitates the transactions within its own company, where you have a lender, a realtor, a lawyer, the buyer, and the seller, or the leasee, all within the same group. So it's so goes Scientology, so goes this type of, I call it a domed, I want to say a domed system, a group that is tightly sealed, that does not let in outsiders. So if you and I wanted to go pay $1 million for 1122, we wouldn't be able to get it. The sale, even if it was for less money, is going to go to someone within the group. This is where it is important to realize how much money is the driving force in the college. They're not humanitarians. They're not human. They're not doing us any good. All right?
But I'm surprised that you chose to wear a hat, because you're famous for your head.
I am? I can't believe you're telling
Everybody in
me
Hollywood
that.
thinks your head is fantastic. But I'm surprised that you chose to wear a hat, because you're famous for your head.
I am?
Oh, I missed that the first time. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay. Moment of Zen. All right, Louis Vuitton, Louis Valos is out of here. Thank you for coming in. My dad used to take me to the air shows at MacDill Air Force Base when I was a kid, and this is one of the planes. I believe is a B-29. The B-52s. The B-29 though had this big front window, and they used to let you sit in there and go or whatever, and it was just so amazing, you know. But it's so scary to think that bullets are just coming through you with regular glass right here from these little Messerschmitts. Which one was this? I'm sorry. I think that's just an ad. I forgot what I pulled up here. Hang on. Please stand by. Okay, it's just ads. Alright. What was up at the top here? Oh. This is the 26 different businesses that Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec came up with. Entertainment 720 failed. Pawnee's first and only entertainment media conglomerate. Disco Dairy spread the party butter and with glitter in it. Tumbler Cologne promoted with the tagline, "Baby, you smell good." Snail Mail, an escargot delivery service. Yogurt Platinum, a gourmet alcoholic yogurt. Tommy Fresh, a cologne, and it smelled terrible. Sparkle Suds, Dress Loud, laundry detergent with glitter in it. LASIK for fingernails. You only need to cut your fingernails once. All we need is a complicated laser I have no idea how to build. A service that allows him to pimp himself out to hot older ladies. Snake Juice, a high-end Kahlua-style liqueur billed as the connoisseur's juice and created with Tom when Tom mixed a bunch of alcohol together and some sugar and coffee and a bunch of other junk. And it kind of tastes like Kahlua. H2HO, a brand new bottled water. A tuxedo line for babies. Snake Hole Lounge, Pawnee's sickest nightclub. Tommy and the Fox, a raunchy animated series based on the imaginary friendship between Tom and Jamie Foxx. Homes constructed inside private jets for investors who want to buy a Gulfstream G4 jet, take the wheels off, and turn the jet into an apartment building. Tom's Bistro, a nightclub based on the idea that the word bistro is classy as shit. Talking tissues. Every time you pull one out, you get a little message in your arm that'll hype you up. Blow that nose, playa! White fur earmuffs for men. A scented phone that smells good. Club-a-dub-dub. Or the Club Marine. Sort of a submarine-themed club. Know Ya Boo, a dope new game show where I ask couples scandalous questions and they have to guess what the other one answered. They actually have that show now. See, I mean, he's brilliant. He really is. I don't know if he wrote that show, but it's a game show, and it's oh God, I forgot what it's called, but it's literally totally thought of that. Salt Tweens, Saltines for teens. VIP department stores, a department store with a guest list. Rent a Swag, high-end clothes rentals for teens, tweens, and everything in betweens. Eclipse, a nightclub that's only open for 1 hour, 2 times a year, cover charge $5,000. Contact lenses that display text messages. And I think we already have something similar to that. And that's our focus comedian for tonight. I'll do other comedians in the future. Wow. I guess that's a copperhead rattler. I'm pretty sure it's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. That shaker alone is scary. I don't know what it means when it stops.
This could have been a huge mistake, but this guy loves to live on the edge. Because when these police officers tried searching his boat, he knew it was best to stay honest, and it caught the officers by surprise.
They're the honest boat shouldn't be?
Just you, officer.
This could have been a huge mistake, but this guy loves to live on the edge. Because when these police officers tried searching his boat, he knew it was best to stay honest, and it caught the officers by surprise.
They're the honest boat shouldn't be?
Just you, officer.
That's funny.
A new study finds that women benefit from regular exercise at twice the rate of men, but on the other hand, jars.
Well, thanks for the ride. Really appreciate it.
Hey, you never told us why you keep that teddy bear on the front of your truck.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it makes the kids feel more comfortable.
Oh, yeah. You have kids?
No.
All right, take care.
That movie's hilarious. Is it Meet the Miller? We're the Millers or something like that? Great movie. One of Christina Applegate's last films.
Order for Jack Meow!
Order for Buster Cherry!
Order for Mo Lester! Stupid. Order for Barry McCockiner! Order for Jack Meow!
Order for Buster Cherry!
Order for Mo Lester!
Oh, man. So with everything that's going on, Echoes and L, and I don't know, some people left messages on my live today seeming to fan the fire. I don't know. I hear the mountain and hard to climb, rough of the rhythm and it must be sublime. Listen, Yellow Lover got it right on time. We got cricket with the quickness and the bass line. Racism is schism on the serious tip. You don't believe me and I'll come and bust your lip. Alright. There's my message for you today.
In 1940, in the wartime, Great Britain was fighting with its backs against the wall. All the aeroplane manufacturers were struggling with orders, so overseas sources had to be looked at. An order was placed for Curtiss for their P-40 design. But even Curtiss couldn't cope with the order and approached North American to build a P-40 under license. The president of North American wasn't overly happy with that idea and approached the BPC for their own idea of a brand new designed aeroplane. Now that aeroplane showed fantastic potential, but the aeroplane had the Allison V12 engine that was utilized in the P-40. And above 14,000 feet, the aeroplane would have probably come off second best to aeroplanes the Germans had, like the deadly Focke-Wulf 190. So one of the clever people at the Air Fighting Development Unit said, let's try it with a Rolls-Royce Merlin. The swap was made, and that aeroplane became the P-51 Mustang.
So up till that point in the war, 1942, the Germans had a strong advantage and were just destroying the Royal Air Force. And we entered the war about then, or 41, 42. And they were getting their butts kicked, and so they put Rolls-Royce engines in the plates. Great idea. I mean, otherwise there wouldn't have been a Rolls-Royce. So, great save, Rolls-Royce. They had twin Rolls-Royce engines in these planes, so they were out flying the Germans, and it literally, the change in success rates for the Allies changed overnight. It was that fast that they shut down the Luftwaffe, and that's when Hitler just started a unrelenting last-ditch effort bombing campaign on London. And it was the Britons had to take to underground shelters for weeks and weeks, and they've leveled the city. I mean, it's if you've ever seen pictures of it, it's one of the most horrible things. I mean, because Germany's literally over the bay or the channel or whatever from England, so they were the last country, other than France and a couple of smaller countries, that hadn't been conquered by the Nazis. And the what happened with the Nazis, a lot of people don't understand. They had these tiny little Tiger tanks, or Tiger tank, the little tank. There were these one-man tanks, and they were super fast. I think they had BMW engines, and so they also gave them, I forgot what it's called, Pepsin. They issued that as standard issue to German soldiers. And what it was a derivative of the first methamphetamine that was invented in Japan and brought to England. And I mean, there's stories of a soldier who was carrying, a German soldier that was carrying the entire platoon's supply. Now, when I say supply, they would supply them with it, and when they're on the lines, they would run out and they would write their parents home to send them more. It was that addictive. But anyway, this one soldier, corporal, I think, was a Nazi soldier carrying the entire platoon's supply, and he took it all at once, everyone's. And they say he just disappeared and then returned 3 weeks later, having not slept, and nobody really knows the destruction and mayhem that he... And so you have the combination of this blitzkrieg, where they would use the fast planes, with the Luftwaffe. They would swoop in with these super fast little tanks and scare the crap out of everybody, and then they see, oh, it's just a little tank. But then when it was over, they had a parade with these guys in these little Nazi uniforms and sitting there, and it's like you're rolling in a convertible. And so, and behind them would be the large Panzer tanks and the artillery and everything else. But they went unchallenged through so many countries. Poland, obviously France fell, and so on and so forth, one after the other. And they were able to build a fortification around the coast, so that the only place left was the small island of England and the United States, and then Russia on the other front, who were not really part of the Allies. They were Nazis in the beginning and then switched over. So they weren't really anybody's friend. But they had their own war, and the Germans were marching into Russia. So that front was being won, while the American and British front was a glass line just waiting to be popped. And that's why you had all the fortifications along the coast. Now, what they did is they knew there was leaks in the military. So what they did is they told everybody they were going to attack this certain spot, and I believe it was near Switzerland or Spain or something, and that's where the D-Day was going to happen. And it was a misdirection. They sent at the last moment all the troops down to Normandy, and that's, you know, where you have like Manhattan Beach and all the lies are like you see in Saving Private Ryan. And that was only possible due to these Rolls-Royce engines that the Germans, the British were able to fight off the Nazis and hold them off before they completely leveled England. So I always love that story that Rolls-Royce saved the war, because there would have been nothing left.
What word is spelled incorrectly in every dictionary?
Incorrectly.
Bang.
Wait, what word is spelled incorrectly in every dictionary? Incorrectly. So what?
Because it's incorrect. Brother, come on.
What word is spelled
Logic.
incorrectly? Wait, nothing's spelled incorrectly in the dictionary. What, bro?
Never mind, man.
What word is spelled incorrectly in every dictionary?
Incorrectly.
Bang.
Wait, what word is spelled incorrectly in every dictionary? Incorrectly. So what?
All right.
Rare Photos, Part 20. LAPD female trainees practicing firing their newly issued revolvers in 1948. A giant eagle captured in Brownsville, Texas.
Look at the size of that eagle. Now there's where you get the stories of, yeah, the bird took off with my kid. I mean, jeez, man, your poodle doesn't have a chance, I'll tell you that.
An average American family in Detroit, 1950.
Look at how different it was, guys. Now that is literally a prefab home. This is a Sears and Roebuck order that they would drop off the materials and the plans, and either the homeowner would build it or they'd hire somebody to build it. But every nail, every piece of siding, every window, every light, every wire came in one crate. And then you got, this is a Studebaker, I believe. So you could look at the guy and the tricycle, and think about how different it was that no one locked their doors, that the kids roamed the streets, and they weren't even allowed back inside until dinner time. How different that is today. So that's a good picture.
Before, living on a Ford factory worker's wages. Water ice on Mars, photographed by the European Space Agency. Every year, 500,000 horseshoe crabs are captured and then released after having their blue blood harvested. This blood is used by the pharmaceutical sector. Dendrocalamus giganteus, also known as dragon bamboo, is a species of giant bamboo indigenous to Southeast Asia. The lifeguard on duty at Brighton Beach in New York, 1906. There is a place where a green field, a yellow river, a black...
So this is in Iceland. And if anybody wants to vacation with me here, please put a 1,485,602 in the chat. Because that's got to be the most craziest thing. You got a river running literally alongside of an ocean. And look at the swells coming in too. I wanted to point that out. But you have so much topographical stuff.
Black beach and an ocean meet. This place is known as Holtsos in southern Iceland. 3 different period bridges seen together. The arches got bigger with each advancement. In 1901, Montana, a group of rugged frontiersmen posted an advertisement seeking wives to join them in their untamed frontier life.
So it could be worse.
I'm gonna turn this cup upside down without spilling a drop. So this seems impossible. I've only done it once. So we might need some paper towels. So go grab some paper towels. Okay. Okay. Let me see this. No, I've got this. Okay. Up, side, down. I'm gonna turn this cup upside down without spilling a drop. So this seems impossible. I've only done it once. So we might need some paper towels. So go grab some paper towels. Okay. Okay. Let me see this. No, I've got this. Okay. up, side, down.
Pretty clever. Pretty clever. 602. Heather is here, so I'm assuming that Jen, none of your business, is done pillow fighting with her friend. It turns out the family didn't go unscathed from the hurricane. Apparently, my sister lives close to the coast. Had some flooding, but they have. It is a big deal, but they have, like, you know, they raise the house, the main house, to the, and you have a basement at the ground level. But they have they have like a music studio set up in there, and my nephew's office, and a little workshop for them to build furniture and stuff like that. So hopefully the flooding wasn't too bad, but judging from what we saw in Clearwater Beach, it probably they probably gonna have to do a lot of things with the yard, and hopefully not too much damage on the drywall and stuff in the garage area. So anyway, so prayers out to her and her family for quick recovery on that. And then 2 people across the street lost their gutters. And then my friend Rockford sent me a picture of his neighbor, and she lost her roof, and I'll show you right here. He had told me about it last night. And let's see if I can get that to focus. So this was today already. And he lives like right around the corner. So I got pretty lucky. The winds did get pretty heavy at some points. And the power was out for a couple hours. And I was scared. Yeah, I'll go there with you, Bubs. If we can just get that ticket, we can just keep traveling. And I want to do the river tours in Europe. I want to take my mom on the river tours in Europe. I think she would just love that. Those look beautiful. So, all right, we're getting to it. Almost there.
Well, your name is Keanu, which is Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But like Obama, you weren't born in Hawaii, were you?
No, I wasn't.
You were born
in Beirut, Lebanon.
Oh, like Obama?
No.
He was born in the Middle East, right? Well, your name is Keanu, which is Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But like Obama, you weren't born in Hawaii, were you?
No, I wasn't.
You were born
in Beirut, Lebanon.
Oh, like Obama?
No.
He was born in the Middle East, right?
I didn't know that Keanu was born in Beirut, Lebanon. That's a very interesting fact. I don't know. He seems to be, on some levels, outside the Hollywood weirdness, but at the same time, he's as deep as you can get, right? So I don't know. I can't, but the jury's out on Keanu.
Can I hear you do a black woman, an older black woman? Ooh, child, you're gonna get out of this house, or I'm gonna slap you upside the head. No, don't make me take off my shoe. Don't you make me take off. You get back here. You get back here. Okay, Grandma.
He broke his glasses.
Okay. Can I hear you do a black woman, an older black woman? Ooh, child, you're gonna get out of this house, or I'm gonna slap you upside the head. No, don't make me take off my shoe. Don't you make me take off. You get back here. You get back here. Okay.
I guess this is a new show, Match the Voice. If anybody wants to guess at who was in the green suit, I have no idea.
Hello.
Hi, this is Sally from Pottstown High School. I'm calling you because your son has been telling lies again.
Wow. Well, tell him he's getting pretty damn good at it, because I don't even have kids. Hello.
Hi, this is Sally from Pottstown High School. I'm calling you because your son has been telling lies again.
Wow. Well, tell him he's getting pretty damn good at it, because I don't even have kids.
That's awesome. Dad jokes.
You probably think men are really nice and well behaved quite a lot of the time.
I
I don't think that.
You don't think that?
No.
I'm sure they behave themselves a little bit more around you.
You know.
Where are you from originally?
San Francisco.
Oh, I see. So...
Alright. I hear the mountain and hard to climb. Rough of the rhythm and it must be sublime. Listen, your lover got it right on time. Alright, Heather's here. Thank God. Oh, the Robin Williams one was blared in your head. That's fine. I could play it again if you would like.
You probably think men are really nice and well behaved quite a lot of the time.
That's crazy.
This is what happens when you watch too many Flash movies at once. This guy is the fastest arm wrestler in the world, and his moves are so fast that if you blink, you will miss it. Some people say that his videos are fake, but watch how his opponents react after getting absolutely destroyed in less than a second.
I've never seen an Indian with this many tattoos, and I just now noticed that. What's the deal, man? Tattoo artist. Wow, you're the first Indian tattoo artist I've ever... The only one. Yeah. What happened with you and your parents? Is everything okay, or... Do what you want. White girls. Sorry, that was a little crass, but it was right there. I had to. I've never seen an Indian with this many tattoos.
Ready or not, here I come now. Let's.
Sorry, Bubbly Waters put up a video on that's that other one. But she also has the one that, hopefully I can find it, I was talking about, and this is it right here. And this is really something.
Let's play hide and seek.
I'm gonna grab some coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek.
A sub of mine, Coolio, brought this to my attention yesterday, I think, or a couple days ago, and I wanted to give you a little shocker, actually, blow you down. So this is a university, like, let me see what it says here. It's a student-run magazine for the U of I. Now, I'm going to cruise up here past a few things first because I want to show you something. A price to pay. College students share their methods of making quick cash as expenses. Okay, forewarning, the kitty is being Eddie is being very talkative today. Aren't you, Eddie? Nettie? Now you're ignoring me? I guess so. It won't take him long. He's a talker. Okay. So where was I? Oh, yeah. Right about here.
Oh, yeah.
Are those panties she's pulling out of that? Oh, wait, is she putting in a manila envelope? Wait a minute. You can't be, no, you can't be serious. Wait a second. Let's read this. Okay, fine, sorry. A price to pay. College students share their methods of making quick cash as expenses grow. A worn down down jacket might sell for $15 at a local consignment store. Donating plasma. Ooh, that's some tough stuff right there. Donating plasma might lend an extra $50. A used pair of underwear can sell online for up to $300. You heard it here. $300. Are they ransacking freaking cars for underwear? Remember Panty Girl? Yeah? Kind of makes you wonder.
So anyway, this is where she goes into the magazine article suggesting that they donate plasma, and they even have a quote from a university administrator here in the article.
Situations where making money.
Director Davenport, he's the longtime financial aid officer. 40 years ago, students were able to work part-time during school or the summer, and work would pretty much pay for their schooling. Students are placed in situations where making money in new and alternative ways outside of an hourly paying job could make the difference between the school getting paid or dropping out, and the students make the choice to invest in their future. There are some people who want that degree so bad they are willing to do just about anything for it, Davenport said.
In new and alternative ways to do anything for it. Now I want you guys to know, open for
and I touched on it earlier, so I just wanted to show you this. This is still floating around. If it was something that they were embarrassed by or they wanted to hide, so they still encourage this. Is from 2018, right? And let's look at this.
Brian Enton spoke with Olivia, Kaylee's sister. He asked her about Brian Kohberger's arrest, how she felt during that time, as well as some information in regards to the affidavit, and this is what she had to say.
I think we always presume, innocence. I don't think it really hit me until the affidavit was released, and I was able to kind of read that and process that, and then you not only have a name and a face, but, the beginnings of a case against him.
One thing back to the affidavit that I think a lot of people were surprised by was the fact that one of the roommates was awake when the killer walked by, and that the 911 call wasn't made until hours and hours later. Do you know any more about why that might be?
I don't have any other information for that. I do know Dylan is really young, and she was probably really, really scared. And until we have any more information, I think everyone should stop passing judgments, because you don't know what you would do in that situation.
You get a sense that that might be the case, that he was almost watching all of this as it played out?
I do. A lot of that comes from the fact that he had visited the home so many times before, late at night, early hours. He's presented this pattern of behavior. He went back to the home the morning of, before police had been called, I think to see if his circus, so to say, had started to unfold. And I think that he would not have been able to refrain from engaging with the online communities, the theories, the conspiracies, and everything in between.
Trying to read the affidavit on my phone, what was your reaction when you were first able to read through all of it?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that that's been the hardest part of this, is to sit back and look at the totality of it. when my sister was FaceTiming me about a new egg bites recipe, he was planning his next visit to the home. And that's really difficult. It's really difficult not to wish that you had done more, wish that you had known more. But it's just the first step. A lot more evidence will come out. You know, the August 21st date, I can go back and remember the conversation that I had with Kaylee that day, and how normal everything was, and the fact that we had no idea, she had no idea, I had no idea that true evil was genuinely watching them.
That is certainly an interesting choice of words, isn't it? Literally, Lucifer Morning Star. Wow. Let's see, check my messages here. I'd like to get Euphoric on here. So, Jen, if you want to click the link, I'll put it in the chat, I guess. I did send it to your email. This is the one I sent to Trish last night. I hope it works. It was just problems with my computer, guys. So, Bubs, if you want to come in, I can. Yeah, you can click on it too, and I can add you guys, or you can call in or whatever you want to do. And so, like I was saying earlier, Jen has decided to join us, and she is going to give you an update on what she's working on right now. So here we go. Are you there, Jen? Is she in the chat yet? I'm assuming that she wanted to come in now. It'd be good timing. Otherwise, we're going to run dead air again, which seems to draw in more people than. Yeah, that couldn't be more obvious. P Fox, I don't know. If you have something wafting away in your car, I imagine that $300 for it would be. I mean, if I don't see how people even know what they're paying $300 for if they're getting it on the line. That's fine, Bubs. Yeah, make sure you don't let the dog or cat eat your homework. Where are you? Chickbait, come on up and sing your song and introduce Jen for us. Where's Chickbait? Here. Let's see here. I wonder what happened to my. Oh, I must have turned my amp off or unplugged it or something. There we go. That's better. Okay. I don't know. Heather sent a picture. What's this? Hold on. Let's see what Jen has to say. Are you ready? Jen's always worth the wait, you guys, so hang in there 1 second. She's yelling at me. We're not even married. We are brother and sister though, so it's good. All right, let's see if I can try to buy a little more time. All right. There, I'm getting all the abuse is coming now. She has to walk the dog. All right, so. It's the best banjo I can do for you on a keyboard. That's a scary movie, actually, Bubs. So let's get back to my original Bubbly Waters video, which is this one, and she's got the audio better than we had last night. And so here it is. We were waiting to hear this last night. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear the audio. So I'll turn my voice down. Shut up. Okay. What do you think you took away from that? I heard F you, and I heard get that MFer. And then I just hear a lot of rustling. Really. I had both my ears in, and what's your takeaway there, Bubs? What do you? You knew sooner or later I was gonna have to play that, and I know that was a nice short one, right to the point. Around here, somehow we've lost audio on the thing. Oh, there it is. Is there anything you want to add about what we heard, or something you want me to replay there? What's your takeaway on this? I'm just saying, because obviously you see something or hear something. I mean, you hear some activity. I feel like in the other video, you hear more. Personally, so I don't. This is kind of new to me. So if you want to add anything, please do. And let me check on Jen. Alright, she's yet to click the link. Do you need me to send the link again, Jen? Are you there? Okay. Yeah, there was one point there where I definitely heard some stuff.
And the hardest part of this is to sit back and look at the totality of it. When my sister was FaceTiming me about a new egg bites recipe, he was...
See what? All I know is in Bubbly's video, and I'll post a link to it. And make sure you guys sub up or whatever for Bubbly, please. And do all the things. I'll run it from where she told me to go. And it was 11:26. I'll start at 11:21. Sorry, I meant to mute myself, but Shaggy, yeah, it says on the timestamp on the closed circuit TV 11:27 also. So I think this is in correlation with that. As far as I can tell, all three screens say, all I see is 11:22. I believe it's 2022, 11:27. That's what I see. Okay, right there, I want to say I heard, get that son of a, whatever. I don't know. That's one of the things that stood out to me. Okay, so that's where the audio just drops out. I don't know if that's just this version. one thing I noticed about the person that's talking there, sorry I had my volume on, but it seems like they said it sounds like get that person, get that circle, and then I hear stab her. Is anybody with me on that? Let me turn myself off. Yeah, you might be right, Shaggy. It sounds like get that shirt, get that circle, and then stand her or stab her. I don't know. Let me turn myself off again. Okay, it sounds like get that son of a... But one thing I noticed about the person speaking right there is that they seem to have a stammer. And it appears that they stammer twice in that. They get that. So if there's anybody that we know of that has... They seem to have a stammer. Get that person, get that circle, get. Slow it down. It's a good idea. Good call. Hold on. Sorry, I lost my bearing exactly where I was, so that's why I'm playing it back at full speed right now. I'll find the spot and we'll slow it down. Sorry. Okay, right there, that sounded like he was saying somebody's name, like Tara or something like that, and then I agree that it does sound like Hunter Bubs. Let me see. get that blouse off. 100%. Let me know if you see what I'm talking about. Get that blouse off. Well, okay, so one thing we can definitely determine, if nothing else, is the fact that one person oh, Shaggy, is louder than the way head and shoulders above the rest, right? Louder, shouting, and I think we can agree on that. I didn't hear Ethan, and I don't know what you were talking about, Bubs, the Ethan on a bike. But I keep losing my place, and I want to get back to it here, sorry. Tara, that's a good question. Yeah, I've got my whammy bar going. I think we've all been wondering if they could do that or they would do that. From what it looks like, it's the same prosecution, and if that would just push the trial back even more. And I think that Hitler is intent on getting this thing done away with, put away with, whatever. So I doubt that they will change any of the council. Now, you have to notice from the actions of Santa Claus and Shusher that they could not wait to get out of there. So it seems like his interest and his passion has waned for whatever reason. Be it that he has to travel a long way, or be it that he's been completely shut the F up by the defense, which I think is the more likely scenario. They've gotten everything they've asked for except for what he's supposed to give them, and he turned purple when the judge brought that up, that they missed the deadline. And the judge was a little bit more forgiving than I thought he was going to be at first. I thought he was going to be like, well, that needs to be done today or something. But I guess he extended him more time or whatever with more discovery. So that'll remain to be seen. Unfortunately, it looks like Jen isn't going to jump up tonight. So we'll have to do that next time. Sorry, guys. She was promising to come in the chat. I don't know. But I got to get up early, and I'm probably going to shut it down. But this is interesting, Bubs. Thank you for making this for me, or putting this up, so that we can all hear it. She's at home, but we'll have her on next time. Just for whatever reason, it'll probably be easier. So I want to thank everybody for being in. Wait, what? Alright, my producer's telling me to wait, so I'll just, I guess I go 10 minutes into this.
This is State v. Kohberger. I'm going to go over the appearances. This portion of the trial, the first week of May. And the other would be to start the evidence in early.
He was infatuated with it, but he doesn't have that luxury in Ada County. I don't believe he has access to any of the other inmates. I've heard that in Latah County he did. Not housed with anybody else, but they would come in passing, and he doesn't have that in Ada County. I don't think anybody's really had contact with him. There's more room in that jail to move somebody around without having contact unneeded with other inmates.
Yeah, because we know in Latah he could hear other people or they would walk by, so that's not the case here.
No.
For him, do you think he would rather be here in Ada County in the jail or in Latah County?
I think he kind of got a shock coming here. He probably didn't realize how big of a facility it is, spending over 500 days in Latah County, where it houses 38 inmates. I think he would probably rather go back there and have his TV.
It's interesting to think about it, you know, I mean, Kohberger may have preferred being in Moscow, you know, where he had his own TV, and, you know, it was a little more of a small town vibe. Here he's apparently extremely isolated in this cell by himself there for 23 hours a day. I wanted to give you an idea of what the jail looks like. I went out there for our show on News Nation Banfield. I went out there and then also sort of showed the drive and where he comes into the courthouse here. Which again, much different than what he was experiencing in Moscow. Take a look at this. This is the Ada County Jail in Boise, Idaho. It's a massive complex, takes up a couple of blocks out here. Big difference from the jail where Brian Kohberger was in Latah County, Idaho in Moscow. Remember that little jail underneath the courthouse where they kept him? Well, this place is massive here in Boise. More than 1,000 inmate beds. There's 6 different dorm units, we're told. 4 for men, 2 for women, and they've even got 88 specialized beds for maximum security prisoners. In Moscow, when they would bring Kohberger up to court, it was pretty easy, just up a flight of stairs into the courtroom. But here in Boise, he has quite a bit of drive from the jail to the courthouse. It's about 3.5 miles, 10 to 15 minutes right through town. And this is where Kohberger will go into the courthouse. You can see it's a much bigger courthouse than in Moscow, Idaho. They've got this back entrance. It says restricted area. It's gated. They take the vans from the jail right down that driveway into that garage, and Kohberger will go inside without anyone even noticing. So again, similarities for me to the whole Lori Vallow trial. Pretty much the same thing would happen in terms of them transporting Lori Vallow here every day from the same jail, and then they would bring her in the back, and you can never really get a glimpse of her. So I guess that'll be the same with Kohberger when the trial starts. You know, in the media, we like when we can get video and stuff, and it doesn't look like there'll be many opportunities to do that here in Ada County. They do still have the live stream going of the court hearings and the trial, so that's the same as it was in Latah County. So the court controls it, so it's not zoomed in or anything, but we're able to hear and see a little bit of what's going on. They're going to live stream all the hearings. And the other thing the judge made clear is that the gag order, the non-dissemination order they call it, but we call it a gag order, will remain in place, and he said it will be strictly enforced religiously. I think that's the quote he used. So we still aren't going to get a lot of information besides what's said in court. Lawyers not really allowed to talk. Victims' family, lawyers, that kind of thing. The gag order will stay in place. So we'll continue to cover the trial, and even though now it's here in Boise, and we'll wait to see sort of what happens next in this long.
Wow, good find, Heather. That's really cool. So I guess this is just talking about all that right there in the movie, The Trial. So, is this the whole replay? No. I wanted to go to that point where you can see Bill's face just turn purple. And I think it's when he got called out for the evidence. And then there was one point, I forgot what it was, when he certainly looked up rather quickly in response to what the judge said. That may be the same thing. I'm not sure. Okay, well, with that, I got a really early start. So I'm probably only going to go join somebody else's chat for like 4 more hours. We got everybody up in here, so let's see if we can't find something cool to do. Now, some of you guys missed some of my early stuff here. And what we looked at was we were looking at Aziz Ansari, and then we played this.
Now the father of one of those victims is shedding some light on what happened that night. Steve Monsalvo says that there is evidence that his daughter Kelley was trying to escape, but was trapped both by the attacker and another one of the victims. Because
that one was the unwatchable She Who Shall Remain Nameless. And yeah, I'm not going to play that again. But there was a list of unproven facts that in the beginning, if you remember, they were really trying to pawn off as the legit truth. So, however you want to take that one. I watched one of her live or shows one time, and it was just so full of. I couldn't even. I actually made a whole video about it. How much bullshit was in it. It was one of my first ones.
So you can get that to work.
You see the color coming back?
Get the out of here. So
I was asking everybody, not how this kid fixed the TV, but why is this guy chained to the dresser? I don't know what's going on in this house. It's like they distract you with one thing over here, and then it's like right in your face. Like, is this child trafficking or something? What's going on here? That one was pretty interesting. So,
in my experience, new technology merely amplifies old problems. It is true that both Michael Celestine and Clint Clark.
I love that this guy, and you'll see more and more. I have one more thing, actually. Let me play that for you. Where is that? Okay, here it is. And let me just make a new window. Go. Oh, oops. So All right. Okay. This was a girl, and it'd be a copyright strike for me to play the audio. Just like Steppenwolf or something like that. But I guess this was something that was out there, and this mystery girl dancing. This is a montage of it from the I guess, what is it, Top Gold or something like that. Black mini, white belt. And she's coming up here. You know, it's funny that I don't think dancing like that has changed much, but it was kind of new back then. So they were just kind of going like weird directions, and a lot of them look like my grandmother or whatever, and they're so young. So this is restored footage that they brought out. It would help with the music, but sorry, it's still funny without it. You'll see a little bit more of her here. She is vintage. I don't know how they got all these girls to do this. Yeah, that's one of the things that really stood out to me, Shaggy, was take off that blouse. And what it was, a getter or a stab. I don't know. I honestly take away more, obviously, from the other. I guess it's the other video, with all that stuff. But this is new to me, so it's another time. It's another angle. It's another direction. It's a whole new thing, and it would make more sense that something happened before the two girls got home, and then they maybe they didn't know what they were walking into, or whatever it was. But look at this. This is so cool. It's like, just takes you back, like. The way they dress, you know, like towards the end of the 70s, so much of the clothing women were wearing was literally like, hold on, let me try to fix my audio here real quick. Maybe if I unplug that could help. Let's see now. Nope, it's still not doing it. Let me see. Get up there. And then this one. Okay, that's might be why. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, cool. I did fix it. So much of it was of women's clothing, and you'll see it if you ever look at old magazines. You'll see a lot of things if you look at old magazine advertisements and stuff from the 70s. What is this, Tot P Gold 2? I don't know, but it became to the point where they were just wearing like, this keeps going down, see-through clothes, and they would swim braless in white t-shirts, which it was becoming so common that it was just commonplace. And there was, I don't know exactly what the event was that happened. That it's like it changed overnight. And at that time, what happened with the free love thing was that psychiatrists were prescribing Molly as to enhance couples' relationships. And so I think that, coupled with the fact that if you look in the old magazines, you'll find what Mick Jagger referred to as the mother's little helper, the little yellow pill, and they called it the little mother's helper because it was amphetamines, diet pills that were pretty much, they were almost over the counter. They were everybody had them. It was no big deal. And then you had a whole thing where speed kills, and they weren't talking about driving. And so it seems that with the advent of that, where if you look in old magazines, you'll see advertisements for these diet pills, talking about how you can lose weight. And I think it was a frog, as everything was frogs back in the 70s. Wallpaper, napkin holders, Kleenex holders, paintings with, alligators and frogs. See them everywhere. And then those two little cutesy Love Is things. You'll see Love Is. And expose their midriff all the way down, and their rear end, and clear clothing, plastic clear clothing, plastic pants, see-through clear chairs. You saw these types of things all over the place. But let's take a look at the magazines that they had back then, and you can kind of see where abruptly everything changed. And you had Nixon in office, so the Republicans were in office, and the entire country, after people just got so sick of the war, they got sick of the protesting, they were sick of each other. There was horrible unalivings, mass unalivings in Germany and England that happened from the war. They didn't put up with it Kent State and everything like that, but they didn't even tolerate it there at all. Protesting is not a thing in Europe or at that time. And so you'll see everybody they don't want to see the nasty ladies' hairy nipples, I guess maybe it just all kind of culminated, and then it brought about this whole new sense of family, and it all seemed contrived and fake. But through the 70s, you'll see that the little yellow pill still proliferated. I don't know exactly when it became a Schedule II drug, but it did. And so let me show you guys that. Yeah, it's more useless facts from Kane B. Here, let me move this thing here. Hopefully it'll go up. Yeah, okay. So all along, whatever it may be, epidemic-wise, we always had pharmaceutical companies sort of, I guess you would say, at the heart of it. And they drove the trends, because Sally would take the amphetamines because her neighbor said that she can get the housework done all day, still have time to play with the kids and pick up the kids at school, all these types of things, as long as she took her medicine. And so when the government pulled that medicine off the shelves, then that's when the common everyday housewife turned to the street to get it, because they were very addicted to it and used to having it without any trouble. And so now it's being made in labs and bathtubs on the street and being sold to housewives. They were the ones, the primary, you could say the stereotypical user of amphetamines. Diet pills. You'll hear diet pills. So check this out. Look, you'll see. Hold on. Okay, so you have. Can you? I don't know what you guys can see here. I'm sorry. Let me get this back up. Let's look at this one right here. This is when it changed, and they put a new face on it. That's David Banner of the Hulk. But here's what you had. Okay. Pete Fox, why are you talking to the wall? I want you to talk to me. Okay, so let me zoom this in. Want to lose 4 pounds fast? Works for problem dieters. We got people who are at least 20 pounds overweight. I guess this thing was called Slender. And they got thin in 3 weeks. So this was a common ad that you would see there. And this was just in every magazine. It was the Mother's Little Helper pill, and I want to show you some of the more iconic ones. Like this one right here is definitely something you saw all the time. And they try to get you to switch your diet. And this is when the diet food started coming out. So diet was everything, and here's Mother's Little Helper. That's sort of the stigma attached to it. Let me see. Here's a Dexatrim. And they tried to replace the meth with over-the-counter stuff. Let's see what this one is here. Yep. Okay. Diet Frosty cereal. Here's an older one, and it's billed for obesity. And of course, this was a super habit-forming thing. Excuse me, Jen. Text me. Oh, Heather. Okay. I'm not seeing your comments, Heather. I hit something by accident, Heather. All your comments are gone. That's weird. There she is. Let me see what happened. Let me see. Add as moderator. It doesn't say that you're hidden. Try again, Heather, because I don't know what happened there. I clicked on something by accident. So if you want to leave another comment now, sorry about that. I might have hit something by accident. Yeah, she said you're not seeing any of my comments. So I don't know. I unadded her as a moderator, but I was clicking around so fast it said something, but I didn't really read it. Sorry, Heather. Okay, there's Brad. You'll see these are the ads here now. And they would bill it as a science thing. This might be Weight Watchers here. Yeah, this is Weight Watchers. Early ad for Weight Watchers. Yeah, with the clothes that you were wearing back in those days, it was an obsession. And I'm trying to find one of those frog ads like I was telling you about here. And okay, so it's things like this. Okay, that's the pill. This looks like some. Let me see here. It gives you a fighting chance. I'm trying to think of ones I used to see, and I remember talking about it with somebody and them explaining to me what it was. It was just so normal to see it. Let me tell Heather to come back. Sorry about that, Heather. I hate typing something and then somebody deletes it or blocks you or something. There's nothing worse than typing something funny or typing something long and having it disappear. It's bullshit. I'm sorry about that, Heather. I really, that's one of my pet peeves. She said that I went to her thing because she's way up here, and let me just double check that. It didn't say blocked, but it said that she wasn't a manager or a moderator. So let me see. I could put her in timeout or I could hide her. So that should take care of it, Heather, I hope. Try again, please. We'd like to have you back. That's funny, Shaggy. Ford Pills will give you a second chance. Looked at him lately, not as a husband, but as a man. Looked at yourself, not as a wife, but as his secretary. Don't run away from what you see. Start fighting. Get a pack of Ford Pills and a Ford Pills diet chart. Trim off a few pounds sensibly. Then get into some of the clothes, the new ones, that your husband admires on other girls. It's going to be real nice being looked at like that again. Ford Pills will give you a second chance. Wow. I mean, you think about the misogyny on that ad right there, right? Insane. And you would have all kinds of ads in the back of my... And these things were real easy to get. Look at these old ads. These are crazy. Okay, so here's the kind of thing that sort of science brought around the end to the whole craze. And let me see if I can't zoom in on this a little bit for us. How millions of women are risking their health with fat doctors. And, I mean, if you look at the size of a girl from the, like we saw in that video, the previous one, compared to many women today or people today, it's a whole different, you know, they were obsessed with their bodies, and so if you were 10 pounds overweight, you were considered fat. Here, this is the kind of thing I think you'll see here. Lose as much as 10 pounds in 17 days with new Stadavar tablets. And that's something that you would see attached, like the Pervicin was the stuff they gave the Nazis. I don't know what I said before. It's called Pervicin, and it was the stuff that the Nazis had. And there's pictures of it and stuff like that. But I just thought it was an ironic name, Pervicin. This simple double action tablet acts as an energizer, and at the same time reduces your desire for sweet and starchy food. So lose that ugly fat now and start the 17-day course today. And what they did, sold only by chemists. Okay, so a chemist in England, I guess it's probably a British ad, is a pharmacist. And let me put the hat on. What the idea was is like they're doing with the Ozempic today. It's always something, right? They always have some new thing. And they would have a program for you. And so you have a 30-day program, and in that 30 days, you're supposed to take off the weight and keep it off, and then get off of the medicine. And now they still have it available. Like, you could get prescribed that, but it's very difficult to get methamphetamine as a prescribed drug. But it is for extreme cases of obesity or ADD that they will actually prescribe that. I guess there's two different variations on it, but it was such a proliferation throughout the 70s that people would take these weight loss pills, and it trickled down where, you know, mom had the bottle laying on the counter, and then the kids got hooked on it. And what I found out that did not occur as obviously here in Florida when I was a kid, as I found out when I moved to San Diego, is I lived in a real what happened? What did I do? I guess Heather is on strike, right? I don't know. Let me text. I texted her. She didn't text back, so she's mad. When I made a mistake, and I thought it was. I didn't know I'd done it, so I apologize. But anyway, so what you'll have is. Yeah, well, I mean, you are who you are, you know. I mean, when I moved there, I lived in a really fancy part of town, La Jolla, and everything is new and beautiful, and people are well dressed and snotty, at least downtown. And it's a little different down by the beach. You know, there's a lot of really cool people there. But when I was there longer and I started to get the city more, to know the city more, I found myself in areas that were just adjacent to where I lived all this time for 5 years. And I was like, what the hell happened here? I mean, you had guys with 15-foot candle wax mounds in their garage, or digging 30-foot holes in their yard, and stealing tanks and driving on the freeway, and these houses are run down, and there's all kinds of crazy situations. And I asked my friend, I said, what happened here? And so what he said put it all in perspective, because we were like having one of those like sit in the park chats, about it at night. And he's like, well, he gave me the whole thing. In the 70s, you had the moms that were hooked on the diet pills. They get those ripped away from them overnight by the newly formed DEA, and they look to replace it, and there was a very readily available replacement on the street. And so that went from taking a pill to now you're snorting it, you're smoking it, you're shooting it. And so it changes the whole dynamic of it. It changes the people that you associate with it, to get it. So eventually it gets its grip on the whole community, and it tears apart the community. And at the peak of it is where I told my story in Old Town, in San Diego, near downtown, is where the plane crashed into the side of the hill trying to land at Lindbergh Field, and all those people were unalived, and the residents of that area were picking the pockets of the victims, some of them still alive, from the plane crash. That's how bad it was back in the 70s. Okay, so what happened is, now you have that level of wanton chaos already has ripple effect through all the neighborhoods. He said it destroyed the neighborhoods right up to the 80s. And then you expound upon it with the rise of crack cocaine. And so that was the nail in the coffin. Then so you had the 70s with speed, and then speed was still there, but then you had crack cocaine on top of it, which I don't think that cocaine was ever very popular in San Diego. It's always been the although it's still available there. I know that for a fact, but they had a tendency more towards that. And so in the other areas that maybe were less affected by this, that swept through, and we know that it did the whole country over. Detroit and New York City, Los Angeles, and there too it did. And then obviously you expound upon that, and we get through the 90s where things seem to start turning around and the economy is upside down. But then you get into the 2000s, and now you start to see the pill crisis with the opioids. Did I mod everybody? No, that's cool though. I'm not gonna unmod you there. It is stupid. It really is. And Fentramin, like candy. Yeah, Fentramin, is that something? I guess maybe. Yeah, I mean, there are people that still take those pills, and they've never stopped. In that whole field. So anyway, when you have people that are looking out for their best interests, you never know what they're doing behind the scenes, because if somebody has a addiction to something like this, and it's turned out so many times that it has, that fuels their nefariousness, right? And so you never know that if that's the hold that some things have over. I'm not trying to relate it to the case. I'm just trying to give you like a background of how we wound up here. How did we wind up here? And it was the distancing of people from their families, and these families are desperately trying to bring their sons and daughters back, and one thing gets a hold of them, and then the next, and one generation to the next, it's another thing. And obviously the nail, look at that Tab bottle. That's pretty cool. I think they sell Tab again. And Tab's not a bad drink. I like Fresca. I like those bubbly waters ones. I wonder, yeah, I made Shaggy. That's where I did some little, I accidentally right clicked when I was going over the chat, and everything went nuts. But anyway, so Fenterman, huh? Yeah, you know, they were pushing the Ozempic on me. And I'm like, what? No. And she finally convinced me to take a shot of it or whatever, or take some home with me. And I threw it away. I was like, because it made me feel really weird. I had stomach problems and all kinds of, I'm like, no, this is not my thing. And so, let me see what this one is here. They always had the miracle diet. You know, it was going to be the next miracle diet. In fact, remember the Fenetrol or whatever it was that you got over the counter, and they would sell it at the gas stations.
Hello there. Friends, here's an amazing free offer for everyone who's overweight. Even though you've tried other methods and failed, you can still lose ugly fat fast. Now, thousands can tell you that the calometric reducing formula is the only safe, sure, effective way to reduce. This package includes the Wonder 10-Day Diet that lets you eat 3 delicious meals a day, plus a bedtime snack, and even includes a jog for your willpower. And yet you take only 3 calometric tablets per day. And now here's that sensational free offer I was going to tell you about. A 30-day supply of wonderful calometric tablets, a certified $3.50 value, when you buy the regular calometric way to weight control. You save $3.50. That's a $7 value for only $3.50, a 50% saving. And how can you get your free bottle of calometric tablets? Just send in this calometric box top with your name and address, and your druggist will give you a postage-paid envelope already addressed to the calometric company. So don't lose hope. Lose weight. Get calometric reducing formula at your drugstore. Send the box top in the free post-page envelope and get your $3.50 bottle of calometric tablets absolutely free. Friends, believe me when I say don't wait. Act right now.
She swallowed half of that bottle in less than a week.
How you doing?
Hey, what's the big idea?
Here. Try this. It'll do you more good.
Since when did you consider yourself a health authority?
Since I stopped concentrating on patent medicines and started concentrating on coming here at a regular time each day, and when I have more than a couple of seconds. I'm just passing on what the medical officer told me. Cut out all that junk you eat and go in for fresh vegetables and fruits. And drink lots of water. Come on now, since you've tried everything else, you might just as well try the easy way.
Which brings me around to nutrition. Perhaps the most important of the factors that keep you in perfect physical shape. Your Army meals are carefully planned by expert dietitians and contain all the food elements necessary for a well-balanced diet. Take a look at this tray. There's protein for muscle building in the hamburger, although you get it in eggs and cheese as well as meat. There's starch for energy in the potatoes and bread. The sugar in the fig Newton gives you more energy. Minerals and water in the vegetable, fruit, and milk nourish blood and bones. As for those alphabetical vitamins, which are essential for the prevention of disease, they are generously represented in all Army menus. Before we take it away, let's take one more look at the tray. It's both what you eat and how much that counts. And that brings us to the burning question of calories. A body is similar to a machine. It runs on fuel called calories. A calorie is the familiar and convenient name for the unit by which we measure the fuel value of the food we consume. In everything we do, these calories are used. Calories which are not used for activity are stored in the body as fat. Your weight depends on the balance between the calories you take in and the calories you need for your daily activities. If you consume more calories than you need, you gain weight. If you take in fewer calories than you need, you lose weight. If there's a perfect balance between calorie intake and calorie need, your weight remains constant.
Okay, so they certainly couldn't use that graphic. Bubbly, I certainly have.
It's Thursday morning.
I have seen the Eco Shield stuff, and you know, it's funny we haven't talked about it more. I have discussed it a little bit when we were watching the JLR video, but beyond that, I assume, I guess, that other people are familiar with it, but I don't know that outside of your channel, a whole lot of people have discussed it. But Kane was frozen. They may not be familiar with what Eco Shield is, and I don't think we've been able to make a connection of whether Eco Shield is who Kelley was working for in Austin, some type of related company. Anyway, Eco Shield is a very big money business, as it doesn't find Mr. in between. It's strictly almost all corporate accounts, and as long as you're keeping the bugs and the rats out of Subway or GE or whatever big building that you're contracted to protect, you're going to keep that contract. And these are $1 million contracts. So they have a lot of recruiting parties, and I guess maybe the award for sales are these crazy vacations that they take, and they make the salesmen feel like they're millionaires and take them out on fishing excursions and these type of things, if you're not familiar with Eco Shield. However, the people at the top of Eco Shield have been accused of and maybe convicted of, if I remember correctly, some really extremely nefarious things, and maybe even taking advantage of customers, from what I understand, I think, what I remember. And so this guy, can you see him? Yeah. Is talking about the criminal informants in a Pennsylvania, New Jersey case. Check this out.
And I'm just getting ready to do a Zoom hearing in Philadelphia. It looks like the Philadelphia court system has finally got on track, and they're beginning Zoom hearings, even though we've been doing them in New Jersey and seems like every place else for weeks. So I'm getting ready to do my first Zoom hearing in Philadelphia. An issue in this case that I'm handling right now is the use of a confidential informant. And I just want to do a quick video on it. It's a important issue whether you're charged with something in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. You have to understand that the prosecution normally is not required to reveal the identity of that confidential informant in most situations. Now, that isn't always the case. There are exceptions, I'm going to link in an article later that I'm going to write in is the use of a confidential informant. And I just want to do a quick video on it. It's a important issue whether you're charged with something in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. You have to understand that the prosecution normally is not required to reveal the identity of that confidential informant in most situations. Now, that isn't always the case. There are exceptions. I'm going to link in an article later that I'm going to write in today to this video. But for now, understand that the burden to reveal the identity of the confidential informant, otherwise known as the CI, is on the defense.
I can pause for a second. Sorry, I was muted. Before you woke up. Yeah, I think with that food poisoning, dropped a bunch of weight. My clothes are kind of falling off me a little bit more. So I guess in the long run, it turns out to be a good thing. But that was twice in 1 month, as close to death as I've come, I guess. No, that storm wasn't as bad as Hurricane Michael was much worse. I was outside in 85-mile-an-hour wind during Hurricane Michael, trying to fix my friend's roof to keep it from ripping off. Everybody else had evacuated, but he let me stay at his place and just rode it out. It was hours of crazy storm, and I remember I fell asleep and had all these crazy dreams, and then I woke up to something banging against the window, and it just turned out it was like a tree branch or something like that. All right, I'm gonna go back to it. Now I woke up here. 1, 2, ready, go.
And the defense has to show that the identity of the informant is somehow material to the case. With that said, in my experience, I've seen confidential informants used in the prosecution, typically to either set up a controlled buy of some sort and or to obtain a search warrant to obtain incriminating evidence. Remember that a search warrant is what is required to search a home or a place of business. Warrantless searches of vehicles are permitted in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. With regards to a confidential informant, while the prosecution may not be required to produce the identity, if your attorney cannot find an exception, they are required to produce such things as any cooperation or plea agreements that are between the informant and the prosecution. They're also required to produce any type of credibility issues that the confidential informant may have, and that may include unrelated investigations. So those are all important points that your attorney must be aware of. If you're charged with a crime in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, give our office a call at 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania. 856 is what is required to obtain incriminating evidence. Remember that a search warrant to set up a controlled buy of some sort. Informants used in the prosecution, typically to either set up a controlled buy of some sort and or to obtain a search warrant to obtain incriminating evidence. Remember that a search warrant is what is required to search a home or a place of business. Warrantless searches of vehicles are permitted in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. With regards to a confidential informant, while the prosecution may not be required to produce the identity, if your attorney cannot find an exception, they are required to produce such things as any cooperation or plea agreements that are between the informant and the prosecution. They're also required to produce any type of credibility issues that the confidential informant may have. And
that's something you wonder about if they do end up using a confidential informant here. If the credibility issues will be made known to the defense. Anyway, so I guess I'll finish with that, and I'll hopefully speak with Heather, and we'll get her back in here next time. I'm sorry again, Heather, for I was kind of scrambling there for a second, but I will see you guys next time, and I want to thank everybody for coming in. And